Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Andeham Shri Guru Shri Padakama Shri Guru Vaishnavam Stra Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaga Pragatam Vitam Tam Sajiva Sadvaitam Savadam Harijan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Shri Vishakam Vitam Cha Manchakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Evcha Patitanam Pavane Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. So today I really do have to speak quietly, so I hope you can hear okay. You can hear? Is it loud enough?
Dandava pranams, morning obeisances. Yes, we can hear perfectly.
Okay, I got to make Lila Moy Prabhu a little quieter.
Okay, that's good.
No, only for the environment, because we're in a convent and we're staying as guests in a convent on the way to Rome. So we are having a little adventure with the devotees in pilgrimage mood in Europe without all the expense and many things involved in going to India in order to have some pilgrimage. So we're on a pilgrimage to where Srila Gurudev wanted some special programs would take place. He wanted the devotees' presence in Rome. And so we are going to Rome. We're going to where he went in Rome. And we are going to then on the International Yoga Day. We are going back to yoga. We're going to devotion. We're going to Harinam Sankirtan in a park in Rome. And lots of things very much like India. And one of them is, I don't know what you can see on the camera, but there are mosquitoes buzzing around in several. So here we are. I'm trying not to cause any harm to anyone, but I do ask them not to, well, maybe not harm, but please don't bite me too much. All right. So it would be good if one of you good devotees can today talk more, if all of you can talk more and I can talk less, because we don't want to disturb. And here really is pin drop silence and close the doors and everything. But it is necessary for time, place, and circumstance. Be as quiet as possible. Okay, I've just changed to the gallery. Maharaj is with us, Sripadan Maharaj is with us, and Kumkum Devi that's with us, and Vrindavan is with us, that's with us. Priyanana with that earphones on is with us, and Dana, and Priya Sundari Devi that's with us, and one more. At the bottom, the name doesn't come up. Name doesn't come up because somehow the bottom of the screen is up. So Maharaj, please, can you give some Harikatha to the devotees? Lots of things say Krishna is infinite, and we invite him out to speak first. Okay.
Jai Om Vishnu Pachila Ramasud Maharaj Ki Jai. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvaya Vaishnavam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. So to begin this beautiful day, today is Panihati Vila Mahotsava day. So today was the same day when Nityananda Prabhu came to Panihati village. And Raghunath Das Goswami met Nityananda Prabhu and his followers in this Panihati. For first time, Raghunath Das Goswami met Mahaprabhu, and Raghunath Das Goswami was very young. And after this meeting, Raghunath Das Goswami was so much affected by Mahaprabhu and so much attached by his beautiful personality. And for so many times, Raghunath Das Goswami tried to leave home, tried to escape from this relatives, other relationships, and to go to Mahaprabhu. But he was restricted very much by his relatives. So, and once Raghunath Das Goswami heard that Nityananda Prabhu came to Panihati, and Raghunath Das prayed to his father to let him see Nityananda Prabhu, and he promised that he will come back. He will visit Nityananda Prabhu for some time, and then he will come back. So he promised. So father of Raghunath Das Goswami let him to go to Panihati. It's very close to his native village, Panihati. Then Raghunath Das Goswami could came and see Nityananda Prabhu, and so many beautiful followers. All of the followers of Nityananda Prabhu was Mahabhagavata. It was several hundreds of Mahabhagavats around Nityananda Prabhu. Raghunath Das Goswami saw this beautiful Vaishnava society. And then Nityananda Prabhu called for Raghunath Das Goswami, and he said, "Oh, you are Shiv, come here. You are Shiv." And Raghunath Das Goswami came to Nityananda Prabhu, and Nityananda Prabhu happily stood his leg, his feet on the head of Raghunath Das Goswami. This was beautiful lila. And then Nityananda Prabhu ordered Raghunath Das Goswami to feed all the Vaishnavas in Panihati, to make a great fest for them. And Raghunath Das Goswami was happy. He was prince. He was happy to serve all the Vaishnavas, and was big ceremony arranged for Nityananda Prabhu and his associates, and everyone was so happy. And most famous festival for rice and yogurt dishes, rice and yogurt dishes. So the name of this festival is also Chiradadhi Mahotsav. Chiradadhi Mahotsav. This yogurt and rice, puffed rice, and yogurt was served to all the Vaishnavas. So and so many bananas, so many sweets, and also Raghunath Das Goswami gave very rich donations to Vaishnavas, some gold coins to different Vaishnavas according to their position in Vaishnava community. Nityananda Prabhu was short, very good, and other devotees, Raghava Pandit and other devotees, was shown this very good affection. So and so everyone was so happy. And in culmination of this festival, Mahaprabhu himself appeared between devotees, and he started walking with Nityananda Prabhu. And some devotees saw that Nityananda Prabhu was throwing some pieces of prasadam, and they disappeared. But actually, Mahaprabhu was speaking by Nityananda Prabhu. then the Vaishnavas was so happy to arrange this festival. So, and so many devotees were so much satisfied. And after this time festival, then Raghunath Goswami gave permission from Mahaprabhu to come to him. So after some time, Raghunath Goswami was fortunate enough to leave his native home, and he went for Puri. Then when in Puri, he finally found Mahaprabhu and gave him divine instructions. So this is shortly. This is a beautiful day. This day of beautiful Lila, Panihati Lila, or Chiradati Mahotsav. Jai Raghunath Goswami Prabhu ki Jai, Shri Chaitanya Prabhu ki Jai. Raghunath Goswami obtained mercy of Lord Nityananda. He obtained mercy of Lord Nityananda. Then he obtained the mercy of Mahaprabhu. So first we should take the mercy of Lord Nityananda. His permission is first. Then we can obtain mercy of Mahaprabhu. And
Jai Shri Raghunath.
Jai.
Jai Shri Raghunath Das Goswami ki Jai. And from that beginning, Raghunath Das Goswami, then step by step, then he became like the example of Vairagya. And he lived, well, we're always saying 25 hours a day in Seva. And he was always remembering and living in Seva. And he, it is told, looked after his body and rested for 1.5 hours each day. And for 22.5 hours, then he's engaged in like direct service, and even he's resting and looking after his body. Of course, that is service too, and always remembering Krishna. And as one of our senior devotees pointed out, but nowadays, what do we see? 22.5 hours a day. Illusion, 1.5 hours, maybe 8, same. Oh dear. But remember, Srila Guru Maharaj said of Raghunath Das Goswami that no human being can do what he did. He was not an ordinary person of this world. And that applies to so many of the Parshad. In our song, we've got Parshad. Parshad means the associates of the Lord. And Prashad, the remnants of the mercy, actually means mercy of the Lord. So we shouldn't confuse Prashad and Parshad in the songs that we sing. All right, Kum Devi Rasi, please, some words from you on this theme or otherwise, because it is a gathering of devotees for our Bhakta basics, Bhakti, Bhakta. And if you like, back to, anyhow, the basis of our devotional life, of which Nityananda Prabhu mentioned, pastimes of Raghunath Das Goswami are an example, basis.
My Dandavat Maharaj, and to you, Dandi Maharaj, and all the Vaishnavas here. It's so, so valuable to have this association. And actually, what I've been thinking of was just since it was the appearance day of our dear Divya Shakti Didi, and I was thinking of some quote that exemplifies her thinking and makes me feel especially close to her from the way she would repeat Srila Gurudev so much. And I came across something in Search for Sri Krishna, and that is in the chapter on saints, scriptures, and gurus, and Guru Maharaj calls this section is dissolving ego. And he says, one day will come when our egoistic feeling will dissolve, and from within, a real self, a member of the infinite world, will spring up and awaken and we will find ourselves in the sweet waves of that environment. There, everything is sweet. The breeze is sweet, the water is sweet, the trees are sweet. Whatever we come in contact with is sweet, sweet, sweet. Our internal ego is our enemy, and to dissolve that ego, we must do our duty as we think fit, but never expect any response according to our will. If we adopt this karma yoga, then in no time we will find that the wrong ego, which was always expecting something crooked for its selfish purpose, has vanished. The broad, wide ego within has come out, and we are in harmony with the whole universe. The harmonious world will appear before us, and the cover of selfish desires will disappear. This is so enlivening to think that when addressing this enemy, our internal ego, which must be dissolved, it seems like a very difficult task. But I counted the word sweet in this passage, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is really something to think about, how we may not feel that it's natural to dissolve this ego. We identify with it still. But actually, it's worth it, because the opposite is so, so sweet. And then he goes on to say, the cause of our disease is not outside us, but within us. Our Paramahansa Vaishnava, a saint of the highest platform, sees that everything is all right. He finds nothing to complain about. When one can see that everything is good and sweet to the furthest extreme, he comes to live in the plane of divinity. Our false ego creates only disturbance, and that ego should be dissolved. We should not think that the environment is our enemy. We must try hard to detect God's grace in whatever comes to us, even if it comes as an apparent enemy. Everything is the grace of the Lord, but we can't see it. Rather, we see the opposite. The dirt is in our eyes. Actually, everything is divine. It is all the grace of the Lord. The disease is in our eyes. We are diseased, and if the disease is cured, we shall find that we are in the midst of a gracious world. Only the coverings of desire deceive us from having a real estimation of the world. A bona fide student of the devotional school will accept such an attitude towards the environment and towards the Lord. We have to think that God's will is everywhere. Even a blade of grass cannot move without the sanction of the supreme authority. Every detail is detected and controlled by Him. We have to look upon the environment with optimism. The pessimism is within us. Our ego is responsible for all sorts of evil. So what an opposite way of the way we generally think. We think that everything is to be under our own will. Even if we're trying to approach the Lord, and we'll think like, well, if I chant Hare Krishna, I'll be happy. That means everything's going to be going my way, the way I want things to be. But this all goes back to that root of the false ego, which must be dissolved so that we can come to this higher plane and experience this reality, which is so beautiful and so sweet.
And natural.
It is natural.
I have to be quiet. We saw Srila Gurudev. The nature of a devotee is sweet also. A devotee's nature is sweet. And the land of devotion, it is the natural place for us to live. Home, sweet home, home, all of these things. And we are told it's so close to us. We just have to allow ourselves to take in that. Hare Krishna. Kumkum Devi, many thanks. And I was thinking of the verse, I'm afraid I can't recite it. Madhuram, Madhuram, Madhuram. This verse by Bilva Mango Thakur about sweet, sweet, sweet. I was wondering how many sweetnesses, how many madhurs are within that verse. So really, I shouldn't speak very much because it's very difficult for me to speak quietly. And anyway, I have to be careful. So I'm going to ask Leela Moindu. Okay, I'm not going to put anybody on the spot. Why? Because I'll have you all ready to make a contribution this week. And in understanding of harmony with the environment. So,
Maharaj, excuse me.
yes.
You just said something about like we should just allow ourselves to like do this. Maybe Kumkum Didi could expand a little bit on the allowance.
I'm sure she can very capably. Kumkum Devi, humbly ask you.
And my ears are not working so well. So can I explain what?
The Maharaja said that it's just a natural thing and we should allow ourselves to like follow. Could you please explain this word, allow ourselves? Allow.
Yes. Well, natural goes back to our eternal nature, which we're feeling separation from because of the illusion that we constantly accept to take us over. So our thinking is not seeing it as natural. So to allow ourselves to understand that what is the difference in reality and illusion, that is why we have the teachings of the great saints and the Vaishnavas and our acharyas. We're so blessed with this. And our sadhana is our great friend in helping with this too, because it's not that we will be enlightened in every moment to the max, but we need to do something for 22.5 hours a day. And so some of it, we simply get into that. I'm just following because my Gurudev has asked me to. I'm chanting the prescribed number of rounds. I'm chanting Gayatri and trying to always understand more and more deeply how extremely sweet that story is. And all of the stories and so many books have been provided for us because of the sweet. So we can have, it may even in the beginning feel like a routine, but once we start adapting it, it will feel so natural. And so this is the allowing us is like allowing ourselves is understanding the difference in the soul, our real self, and next to the soul is the intelligence, which can control the mind. And the mind can then control the senses, who will engage the sense objects for that higher purpose. Otherwise, it's the sense objects dragging the senses down and down, and the mind is foolishly agreeing with what the senses are suggesting, and the intelligence is more or less quiet. The mind is not recognizing the intelligence, and then the soul is sleeping. So we have these instructions to help us completely reverse this process where, so in the beginning, it's like we are allowing ourselves to, by accepting the teachings of staying on track and the sadhana and all of the practices that, what to avoid and what to accept, and trying to understand these in the association of devotees all again and again and again. And then that allowing becomes the most natural thing to do. We begin to feel like, why would I choose this other thing, which is going to bring me down? That doesn't make sense after some time. So for all of that, we're very, very dependent on the association of the Vaishnavas. And they are so affectionate that it's not difficult to recognize their affection. So what do you think, Priyananda Didi?
Well, to me, it sounds like an interesting idea of this reversal. Like, but you need to strengthen your reason, your intelligence as well. Yeah, just recently here we also read Bhagavad Gita about like Buddhi Yoga, and all this sequence was mentioned again. And here now is Hrishikesh Maharaj, also in Lahti. And I asked him about like the mind. Does it mean like the jnana knowledge is referring to the mind, and the Buddhi Yoga is like reason? And he also said that like it depends on how you use your mind and your intelligence, whether it's like turned towards the spiritual culture or like towards the mundane things as well. What we just spoke about.
Allowing is choosing, right?
Mm.
And in this regard, I can highly recommend Revealed Truth, Chapter 10. This is our treasure of the moment. Really, it is. It's interwoven, all these subject matters are interwoven right there in one chapter.
Okay.
Maharaj, you say like we should read the books from beginning to end, but actually by your advice, we're just jumping like chapter 8, chapter 10. Then what's the next best chapter?
Well, it's going to be the wonder of the moment. But chapter 10, I mean, really, we have read these books, and also Truth by now. We have read, I mean, several times. But this chapter somehow or another seems so relevant. And when newcomers and devotees, they ask about Bhagavad Gita, well, it's almost like every question about Bhagavad Gita is answered in one chapter. It's a super introductory and developed both all things chapter of the book. And what does it mean, chapter of the book? Srila Gurudev flowing with what is devotional service, what is Bhakti Yoga, what is Buddhi Yoga, what are all these different things. And he's quoting there from different pages of Bhagavad Gita and saying how Krishna says it, Krishna says it. And it's the classic talk when Gurudev is saying, I've been reading Bhagavad Gita all my life, and still new things are always coming. Mm-hmm. And we're there when he's saying it, and with heart, well, of course, always with heart. But Gurudev had a whole group of devotees in front of him when he was giving that talk. There were many. It was in the new veranda, one of his later talks in his manifest pastime. And it's a great record that it's in the book for us all. Not only those who were there can hear what Gurudev is saying, but we can all hear what Gurudev is saying. And it is a wonderful opportunity for us. Hare Krishna. So, by the way, just before we come to Lita, I want to give him plenty of time to prepare what he's saying. Indulekha is or was with us just now. Oh, she's got the camera off. Please extend our belated, do we say happy birthdays to Divya Shakti, or is she there with you?
No, she's not. She's not here, but I will let her know.
We didn't know it was her birthday, and we do see her on the Zoom, etc. Because, and yesterday, by the way, the day before yesterday, we heard your voice, Indulekha, in Sri Lekha's talk. Yesterday, we didn't hear your voice, but somebody else was asking questions. That wasn't you, right? Or was it you? Not you, yesterday.
Yesterday? I was there on Monday. I wasn't there yesterday.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't know if I was there.
Anyhow, we are in our little group also for the afternoon program. For us, it's 4 p.m. It's 8 a.m. in Salt Lake City, Sri Lanka every day. gives a reading of Chaitanya Charitamrita, and at the moment, sermons volume 4 of Guru Maharaj. So like 15, 20 minutes like that. So that's our afternoon program when we can be together, because we're doing so adventure just at the moment. And so the day before was different. We caught glimpses, but yesterday we watched the whole program. We were seated there in Sweet Lake City, the whole program. But Divya Shakti was there on Zoom, not in person. But please do extend to her our happy birthday wishes.
Yes, I will. And actually, I have a little thing to share. Since we were talking about the mind.
The mind.
Yeah. And recently I was listening to sermons too, and I just want to read just a few sentences from there. I've never heard that before. So the devotee is asking Guru Maharaj, isn't pure mind a product of Shraddha? He's asking. And Srila Guru Maharaj says, mind cannot be pure. Just as a fossil cannot produce life, similarly, mind cannot produce Shraddha. Shraddha is original and fundamental. When the Supreme Lord appears in the heart, mind vanishes. So I really like that. I never heard it before. And I'm thinking like all my mind disturbances, all these like terrible unsolvable problems and heartbreaks and passions, all this stuff, I don't really like have to think about how to solve it all in a perfect way. I just need to keep practicing my Krishna consciousness, and one day this whole thing is just gonna vanish. So that's my shortcut.
Jai.
Jai. So. Maharaj, we can't hear you. Just remember.
Yes. Up this side. Oh, this side, no. But this side, yes. And in front of me, I had some Madhurananda. And he's wearing nice tilak and everything, but he's very shy to come in front of the camera. Anyway, what I was saying, we have now Indulekha has given us from the book another poster, and not just a poster, a big poster on the wall for everyone to see. Could you read it one more time again? Please.
Yeah, yes, sure. Okay. Isn't pure mind a product of Shraddha? Guru Maharaj. Mind cannot be pure. Just as the fossil cannot produce life. Similarly, mind cannot produce Shraddha. Shraddha is original and fundamental. When the Supreme Lord appears in the heart, mind vanishes.
Jai.
Yes. And this is in Sermons of Devotion, Volume 2, and the chapter is called Bhajan, Real and Apparent. And I think it's chapter 3.
Okay, perfect. Beautiful. All right, so while you're all printing out that poster for the wall, now Leela Moikabu's not going to give us anything from the mind, he's going to give it from the heart where Krishna is sitting. Paramatma is sitting right there. Leela Moikabu, over to you.
Okay. Yeah, this is strange for me. I'm not a big talker. I prefer to listen, but this week I had a really peculiar experience at my work. I was talking with like a Christian person, and he really was a really practitioner Christian, and he has like a really some of his ideas. It's really pretty similar to the Vaishnavism that we follow, and it's really interesting because I never had this experience with really a person that really trying to practice, and this is a really good way to like to see the whole environment as like really there are really people trying to evolve, try to practice their spiritual life, even if not like a refine or maybe a little bit rough sometimes, but it and see all the situations that we pass through our day, like really to improve our practice and to see all the environment like favorable to our advancement, and really try to practice all the things that we hear, all the things that we read. And yeah, I think this, I don't know if this is a little bit confusing, but I tried to say something. Anyhow, that's it. Bye.
Well, we are right now in a convent, and but it's not our first convent to be in this. We were in a convent two nights ago, or 3 nights ago. And I was surprised how much mourning sadhana they did. And I'm thinking, what motivates them in their chanting, and what do they think? And then I stopped trying to think, what do they think? Because we don't know. But it reminded me a little bit about, believe it or not, Parikrama of Govardhan Hill. When we do Parikrama of Govardhan, then we see regularly that there are people who do Dandavat Parikrama. They give full obeisances, they lie, then where their fingers end, then they put a stone, then they stand up, and then they walk to where the stone is, then they again give down. So they're giving obeisances at every spot. So all the way around Govardhan Hill, they're giving obeisances. And it takes, I do not know if it takes 2 months, but it takes some weeks in order to complete the Parikrama of Govardhan Hill. And I try to tell myself when I see that, like, I'm not going to analyze what this person is thinking, but they're doing it. And I've seen some people we can think, oh, they're quite, they're saintly. And one day I don't go around giving donations to anybody everywhere. I'm very neat, all these things. When people are asking donations. But there was one man one time, and he was giving Dandavat Parikrama. And he just looked auspicious. And I just thought, okay, I'll give him a donation here. I thought, here I'll give a donation. And when I went to give a donation, and so something small, 5 or 10 rupees. And then I went to give a donation, but he wouldn't accept it. He said, no, I'm not doing this to get any collection. I'm doing this from my heart. And I thought, okay, that's something very difficult. But in general, we're not analyzing what they're thinking because we don't know and we don't want to be critical or anything like that. But we can think what they should be thinking. So with every obeisance isn't a physical exercise. Like in yoga, we see they do, maybe, or some of you, Surya Namaskar, right? And Surya Namaskar, essentially, it's a physical exercise. They're not really giving obeisances to Surya, the sun god. So, we don't want our obeisances, when we give obeisances, to be just a physical thing. It is meant to be from the heart. So the respect of Govardhan Hill should be that with every step we are in this mood that they would be having the perfect mood, giving obeisances that's going around the hill. So when we saw the morning program, the sadhana within the convent, within the church or cathedral, I think church, within the church. I hope we're not disturbing. When we saw the sadhana in the church in the morning, then we're thinking, no, they are searching and they're something. And whatever they are thinking, I mean, it's just beautiful to have a morning program. And what we are thinking, what they would be thinking, the perfect thing of the perfect person there who's not just reciting lots of verses, but with heart reciting. And then that brings us to our own sadhana, our own devotional life. We must try not to be mechanical, familiar, etc. We should try to every day be with heart, chanting our prayers, Vandeham, and chanting Samsara Dakam, and Jeev Jago, all these songs which really we need to wake up to our proper channel of Krishna consciousness. So, but following on from what Leela Moy was saying, we've been meeting quite a lot of Christians and good people, people who've got a good start. And as Srila Guru Maharaj said, that the Christianity, it's close to Vaishnavism, but it's the beginning point, that everything is for the Lord, that He exists and everything is for Him. But the detail, the description, of course, a lot needs to be filled in. What does He do? What does He look like? Who is He with? And what's our relationships with Him? So many, missing details. But again, the foundation is there. So we're meeting good people. And lots of people, like looking, wondering, because at least there is the expression, the man of the cloth, right? So we can't deny wearing cloth, so, wear a man of the cloth. But there are lots of people trying to understand, what kind of monk is this? What kind of, man of the cloth is this? And even, sorry to say, it was just a very minor thing, but there was a small road accident. Looking at me so much that they hit a sign, but they didn't damage the car. Maybe the sign was damaged. It was a roadblock sign, which was, I don't know, said something about residence or something. So anyway, there was no major damage, but I thought, oh my goodness, now unknowingly I am caused of somebody else's accident. People are looking. You can see the question mark on their face. And I sometimes think they're looking also to be there, what's going on. And like in Thailand, I'm not going to do it, but at least not in Italy. But when they see beads being chanted on them, they know, okay, beads are being chanted. But when they just see the bead bag, they're not so sure what's happening inside the bead bag. Anyway, we're meeting various people, also encouraging them to chant the name of the Lord. Hare Krishna. And all sorts of people right next door here. There's an aged lady who's, she's walked all the way from Switzerland. And so it's, that's quite a long walk. And we're now one day away from Rome, one day away from reaching the Vatican, the Vatican, where Gurudev went and where Gurudev gave some appreciation and where Gurudev wanted something good to happen. So this is what's taking place. Thank you, Leela Moy Prabhu. Who would like to volunteer something on our theme, back to basics? Priya Sundari. Oh, she's bursting some experience. She's bursting to say something. Priya Sundari, please share something with us all.
Dandavats. I can take some notes. Sometimes I read again the holy name and the offenses should be avoided because I like the first part. Of course, the last part it's also important, but I really like the first part. And so I try to, it's not easy, but I try to at least have this in mind because they are very inspiring. Like there are some phrases, I don't know if you all have read, of course, many times. But when I read, it's very inspiring because I often forget why I'm chanting, right? I keep trying to remember, and these phrases, they help me remember why I'm doing all of this. So I can read some if you, yes. Okay.
Yes, we're eager to hear and be nourished. Yes.
Okay. Let me, okay, oh, I like this one. Okay. It's about the different results of the pure name, offense to the name. Oh no, not this one, sorry. Okay, this one. The holy name is the essence of the Vedas and the worshipable objective of the liberated souls. And so it goes. I will not read the Sanskrit. Is that okay? Or do you want me to try?
It's okay. Yes,
okay.
It's okay.
The crown of all the Vedas, the garland of Jews, that is the Upanishads, eternally worship by their brilliance as an arati ceremony, the tips of the toes of the lotus feet. O holy name, thou art never worshipped by the great liberated souls, Narada, Shuka, and others, who are completely free from all mundane desires. So, in every time, place, and circumstance, O name divine, I surrender unto thee. And there is this one that talks about the Vedic scriptures, declaring that the holy name holds the highest position of the transcendental wisdom. And it's a little bit longer. I will read a little bit and you tell me if I should go on. O Vishnu, since all Vedas are born from it, this holy name of yours is your living divine form, the illuminator of all that be. Your name is the supreme ecstasy and the divinity's own form, approachable by all, and the embodiment of transcendental wisdom. Thus, contemplating this holy name, none different from you, we chant it again and again, worship and adore it. O Vishnu, with our undivided concentration upon you, we wish to behold your transcendental self. So we bow down again and again to your dancing lotus feet of inconceivable potency that purify your devotees. We hear your glorious renown sung in all four directions, and constantly singing your glories amongst us, we have taken shelter of your transcendental, all auspicious, and worshipable holy names. Do I continue?
So, well, yes, but also what you're quoting here, and the earlier verse that you quoted,
Okay.
it reminds me that there is a verse, and I'm not sure if it's in that booklet or not, I don't remember, but which says just very straightforwardly, who will not worship he who even the liberated souls worship? And that the previous verse was Narada Muni and the liberated souls. They are worshiping the holy name, bowing down to the One more.
Okay, the one before was from Sri Namastakam. That's the book. Okay, one more. Oh, you know, that all renowned original supreme personality of Godhead to be Sri Krishna. So sing his glories accordingly. He is clearly the objective of the Vedas, the concentrated form of eternity, consciousness, and bliss. By chanting his unending glories, your life will be successful. And I remember that you said this in one of the classes, one of our conversations a while ago. You said that why we sing and dance, and when we sing Hare Krishna and all the mantras, because we are so happy, and if we are happy, we have to sing. The first thing we do is singing and dancing. And I met some people who didn't know anything about Hare Krishna, and they saw us singing and dancing, and they just asked, why do you always sing and dance? And then that answer made it so simple. It was very comprehensible for everyone. It was very good.
Yeah, and it's not my original expression, of course. You know that Srila Guru Maharaj has a verse in Sri Prapana Jivanamrita, and it's very close to the end. I don't know the number. Not Prapana, sorry, of Prema Dhammadeva Stotra. And Guru Maharaj composed Prema Dhammadeva Stotra. And Guru Maharaj happily quoted his own verse on, well, he often quoted this verse. And it's the verse which explains about the dynamo of love, the dynamo, the name causing joy, and the joy then creating more desire for the chanting of the Lord's name. And that verse, the dynamo, which is just increasing its own potency. And all this is coming from the chanting of the holy name, which is what Mahaprabhu is doing in ecstatic love. So it's from Guru Maharaj, it's from Gurudev, which is why we're here. We want to hear from them, share from them. This kind of news stays in our heart instead of the news of the disturbing things of this world. This world is a place of disturbance, full stop. That's where it's a place of disturbance. Okay, put it in that box. Now let's stay within the world of harmony, the world of joy, the world of nourishment. And so this is the 25 hours that we need to try to keep ourselves there. And we're in the material world, so our friends will tell us things we need to know about the world, because one or two do read it. So if we need something, to know something, they can tell us, no doubt, they will. Hare Krishna. So meeting people, chanting the Lord's name, reminding ourselves why we are chanting the Lord's names, and reminding today, Priya Sundari, reminding ourselves about this tiny book, small booklet with quotes that Gurudev would give out. So so informative, giving us information to get us going on the track. And not only that, informative to say about the 10 offenses, which we shouldn't be all caught, regulations, offenses. We should just happily do the opposite. Do the opposite of the offense. Chant, be happy. Hare Krishna. And Vrindavana too, in the night, oh my goodness. Really, that's a tough one for me to do the night shift. When we are young, we used to, when we're at school and want to get some money, we did do night shift. But we had the energy.
Excuse me, forgive me. I'm not young anymore, but to be here with all of you it's worth.
Hare Krishna, all of them, all of you all, yes, to be in such good association. Madhurananda Prabhu, would you like to make a contribution? He's wearing his Gayatri Muraksha Dhana Radha Padamdi Vila Govinda Ashram t-shirt. He's got a beautiful tilak on, but he's such a humble devotee, not coming in front of the camera. And I can't really move this, otherwise it will all fall down. It's balanced. makeshift little studio. And a chat. Oh, by the way, chat. Happy belated birthday, Leela Moy. Was it Leela Moy for whose birthday as well? Leela Moy, was it your birthday? You going to confess? Okay, we're getting
it was
a nod.
Monday. Yeah.
Anyway, happy birthday.
Happy
And
birthday.
everyone on the screen is chanting and dancing for your birthday. So just a reminder, you've got this human body, this birth, this human body. Use it well, not only well, use it best possible. And let me come back to the chat box, because on this I have to close the chat each time. And oh, Sevarupiri, thank you. She's put this quote, the holy name. And okay, so it is in that book also, the glories and offenses to be avoided. And it is the dynamo. So this is Srila Guru Maharaj's composition, Premadala Deva Stotra. The dynamo is creating ecstatic energy, which makes which makes him dance. Sorry, it's very small on the screen. Which makes him dance the dynamo. And his chanting distributes that ecstasy to others. I offer my obeisances to that beautiful Gauranga Sundar, the divine form of Krishna Prema. Wonderful. Hare Krishna. And again, a reminder too, Prema Dhamma Deva Stotram in Navadip of Guru Maharaj and Guru this time. Every evening we chant 10 verses consecutively of the Prema Dhamma Deva Stotram. And there we have Chaitanya, the ecstatic Chaitanya Charitamrita in a condensed form in 70 verses. So we've got lots of small things which aren't like huge books which are a little frightening for the little. We have lots of small things which are so nourishing. And if we can keep them in our heart, then so helpful for us. Then one day we'll find our mind has disappeared. And everything is there, Krishna consciousness. All right. So looking forward to that day. And happily here with all our devotees and family, with our devotee Bhai Rupa Nuga joined us also. And maybe, Kamala in Bangkok is with us. Kamala, Pavan Krishna, I don't know to you both. Gangalila Devi Dasi. And I think the others we mentioned, all the rest of you, not the others, we mentioned it earlier on. I can't see Facebook today because I only have one connection, and I'm happy to stay with this broadcast. All right, dear devotees, we're going to continue, and we're going to have we try to have an early start. Here it's 37 degrees in the day, and that's a little warm, but we are out and about, some of you may know. But I did notice that yesterday in Govardhan, it was 48 degrees. So doing parikrama of Govardhan Hill, and people do all throughout the year, in the day, in the night, or to do Govardhan parikrama now. That's very intense, 47 degrees. But I've done partly in the day before, and really had to retire. So intensely hot. Remember, that's 47 shade. And so quite a bit strong sun in Govardhan. And then had to kind of retire until the heat and then do the night shift. But that's a different kind of night shift, walking around Govardhan Hill at night. And in the company of other good people walking around Govardhan Hill. So night becomes day, day comes. So we are continuing here. Please, you continue wherever you are, go dotted around the world. And it's good you're dotted around the world because from the devotees, auspiciousness emanates. So emanate auspiciousness. Do good for those you meet. Do good for everything that you're going to eat, and do good for yourself, and chant Hare Krishna. Be happy. Jai Shri Gurudev Vishnupada Shri Bhakti Sundar Dev Swami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Shri Bhakti Shri Dev Swami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Shri Guru Bhakti Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. And Jai Sharanagat, surrender to the sweet, 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 sweet. And how many more sweet? Loving God Ki Jai. Nitai Gaurapin, and all the assembled Vaishnavas Ki Jai, Shri Dandi Maharaj Ki Jai, and Anput Vaishnava Ki Jai. Nitai Gaurapin, Hari Hari Go, Vancha Kalpascha, Vipa Singh, Evcha, Atidana Vaishnavi, Namo Nam.
Jai Srila Bhaktivedanta Madhusudana Maharaj Ki Jai.
Have a successful Seva week with all good wishes. Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Kevalam. Kalau Nasteva, 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 Gatir. And we meet again very soon. Hare Krishna.